I came into the Yakuza series not knowing anything about shogi. Hell, this game was still a mystery to me until I finally decided to dive deeply into guides and videos just to work out how to even win the most basic of matches. Most shogi guides, however, are a little hard to follow.
Hi, welcome to Shogi Lesson number 2. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how the pieces can move. So let's begin with the pawn.
So I'm going to go over the very basics of what you need to know to play shogi. Let's start with the setup. Shogi is a Japanese game similar to chess that has been a famously difficult minigame of the Yakuza series since Yakuza 2. There are 2 players, black and white, and black always goes first. In Yakuza, your side is determined by flipping 5 pawn pieces. If more pawns side up, then you go first. If more promoted pawns, your opponent goes first. The 20 shogi pieces vary in size from smallest and least important to largest and most important. There's 1 king, 1 rook, 1 bishop, 2 gold generals, 2 silver generals, 2 knights, 2 lances, and 9 pawns. On the back of each piece, other than the king and the gold general, are the promoted forms, but more on promotion a bit later. For now, let's move on to actually playing the game. We won't go into the exact piece setup, since thanks to the video game it's automatic, but we will quickly talk about what we're looking at here. The first row closest to the opponent is your pawns. Next we have our bishop on the left and our rook on the right. In the last row, from left to right, we have the lance, the knight, the silver general, the gold general, the king, the gold general, silver general, knight, and lance. Players take turns moving until someone captures their opponent's king, just like chess. Here's a quick breakdown of what each piece can do. The pawns can only move forward 1 space at a time. Unlike chess, they capture the same way they move. Pawns must be promoted when they reach the furthest rank, but more on promotion a little bit later. The lance can move any number of squares directly forward, but cannot move backwards or to the sides. Like the pawn, it has to be promoted at the end. The knight is the only piece that can jump pieces as it moves. It moves in an L shape, but can only capture at the end of its movement path, not in the middle. It must be promoted once it reaches the promotion area. The silver general can move 1 square forward or 1 square diagonally in any direction. The gold general can move 1 square back, forward, left, right, or forward and diagonal, but not back. The bishop can move any number of squares in any diagonal direction. The rook could move any number of squares left, right, up, or down. And the king can move 1 square in any direction. And if you ever forget where you can move, don't forget you can hit L1 at any time to bring up the in-game manual or just select a piece to see its moving radius. So what does promotion actually mean? If a piece moves into the promotion zone, that's 1/3 of the board on the opponent's end, it can be promoted to a piece with a better moveset. If you capture an opponent's promoted piece, it will be demoted back to its original form. A silver general, knight, lance, or pawn turns into a gold general. A rook or bishop keeps its original movement, but it gains the power to move 1 square in any direction like the king. A king or a gold general doesn't promote, nor does any piece that's already been promoted, so you can't continue making better and better pieces. Now here's where shogi gets really complex: capturing and drops. To those that don't know about this rule, it will make the game seem completely unfair, usually leaving you looking like this. The drops in shogi are what make it so complex and unique compared to traditional Western chess. In order to capture your opponent's king, you're going to need to nab a few of his guards first. When you capture a piece, they remain in your hand, on the tiny sized table to the right of the board. On your turn, instead of moving, you can instead drop a captured piece onto any empty space for a surprise attack. Drops are your biggest asset and the thing that will trip you up the most. Always remember to keep your opponent's captured pieces in mind when making a move. Dropping counts as a full turn, so you can't do anything else like capture or promote the piece, even if you drop it in the promotion zone. There are a couple of restrictions when dropping. A pawn, knight, or lance cannot be dropped in a space that would give them no legal moves. So if you drop a pawn right at the end of the board and it can't move forward, you can't do that. A pawn cannot be dropped in the same column that already has one of your pawns, and a pawn cannot be dropped to give an immediate checkmate. But it can be dropped to make a king go into check, so it is pretty useful. Winning Shogi in Yakuza for the first time is one of the most exciting experiences. Doubly so if you actually mean to. Like chess, you win by giving your opponent's king no way to avoid capture, that is, checkmate. Get your opponent's king in check with the same moves each time with nothing changing 4 times in a row, you will lose. If both kings have reached their promotion zones and can't hope to gain anything else, both players must agree to an impasse and the winner is determined based on the points remaining from the pieces. Because pieces can be brought back into play at pretty much any time, draws usually don't happen very often. If you're still getting your ass handed to you, Yakuza 5 can help soften the blow of the harder games. Using the give up piece, you can force your opponent to resign and basically win the match immediately. Don't worry if it didn't all sink in. These are just the very basics of the game to get you started. If you learned something, then please like and subscribe for more Yakuza content. They all won't be long-winded tutorials, I promise. If you want to see more content on Yakuza Fan more frequently, then consider joining the family on patreon.com/YakuzaFan. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys next time.